Today's video is all about how to use the Black Swamp Multisonic Strainer, a multi-timbral snare system that lets you quickly, easily, and quietly change your sound on the fly, dialing in your preferred sound for whatever piece you might be playing and whatever stage you're performing on. The Multisonic snare system was dreamt up by Eric Soy, BSP founder, as sort of a what-if project, like, I wonder if I can make this happen. Well, Eric could and did, and the Multisonic snare system soon became the world standard for orchestral snare drums. If you want a more in-depth backstory of how the system came to be, check out our video, History of the Multisonic. We'll have it linked down there in the description. So why would anyone want to have a bunch of different snare wires and materials on their drum? What even are cable snares, and why so many? Well, here's a brief cable snare theory to help answer some of those burning questions. Cable snares are the individual wire or coated snare units that run along the bottom head of a snare drum connected to the drum strainer and butt. Get your giggles out now, kids. These cables give the drum its characteristic snare sound, and in this case, a preferred concert or orchestral sound. As you move up the orchestral snare drum food chain, instruments can begin to have additional cable types with individual tension adjustment that each respond best at specific dynamic levels and help tailor the drum sound for a plethora of performance situations, specific pieces, performance spaces, or personal preference. Let's take a peek at the snare side of the instrument to get a closer look, starting with the outer snare units. The blue cable is nylon-coated stainless steel and produces a dry, short sound, a standard orchestral vibe, which responds best at medium to loud dynamics. The gold cable is also nylon-coated steel, but thicker than the blue cable. This has a darker, throatier character similar to traditional gut snares. Gold cable responds best at louder dynamic levels, adding more roar or depth to the sound. The stainless steel cable units produce a bright sound, which is a bit more wet when compared to the other cable types, meaning there is a little extra sustain to the sound. There are both 6-strand and 8-strand units to play with, which both respond best at medium to soft dynamics. Running down the center is a 5-strand wire-wound unit with its own unique sound quality, responding best at soft dynamics. We position this unit in the middle, as most percussionists will focus their playing at the center and edge of the head when performing softly. As dynamics increase or get louder, the playing area will naturally get a little wider, activating the additional snare units for a fuller texture. Okay, now that we understand the why, let's talk about what makes up this snare system. Let's start by going over each component's name and function. Zooming out, any snare system has a strainer side and a butt side. These pieces hold the snares against the bottom head and can be tensioned to the performer's liking. Zooming in, the Multisonic strainer has several key operational pieces. Let's look at the strainer side first. The sliders. The 5 sliders on the system attach to each different cable type. The knurled knobs at the top of the system can be pulled out to disengage a specific cable. Pushing the knob in engages the cable. Tension adjustment knobs. Located at the bottom of the slider, these 5 knurled knobs allow you to individually tension each cable. Because each unit responds best at different dynamic levels, you'll need to progressively tension the coated cables slightly tighter for louder dynamics and the uncoated cables looser for responding at softer dynamics. Mounting cubes. Underneath the strainer system are 5 mounting cubes that screw into the system via the tension adjustment knobs. The center cube uses a slightly different cube that works with cable types using mounting cord. The throw-off. This is the lever that engages the combination of sliders activated on the strainer. Move the throw-off to the left to engage, on, and to the right to disengage, off. And finally, a quick look at the butt side of the system. The butt side mounts the cables and has a master tension adjustment knob that tensions all 5 cables at the same time. This would come in handy when you feel like all 5 units may need to be tightened or loosened simultaneously. Now that we understand what we're looking at, let's talk about How to use it. Start by moving the throw off to the right to disengage all 5 cable snare wires. Next, choose 2 to 3 cable types that you would like to use and push these sliders in with the knurled knob at the top. Any cables that you'd like to leave off should have the knurled knobs pulled out. Out equals off. Important note, we do not suggest activating all 5 snare units on the strainer at one time. Using all 5 units at once is simply too much cable on the bottom head and will effectively choke the sound of the drum. Not cool. With your cable selected, move the throw off to the left to engage your selected cables. Voila! Repeat these steps to change up your cable configuration on the fly and use the tension adjustment knobs at the bottom of the sliders to fine-tune the tension of each cable. A pro tip: it's not recommended to pull out a slider knob while your throw off is on. This will disengage the slider, but will also drop with an unsavory thud that I guarantee is not written in the score. We certainly don't want any dirty looks, so it's always best to disengage your throw off before changing up your cable configuration. Let's quickly check out some recommended settings and how they sound. General use. This setting is a great starting point when entering a new performance or practice space. Dry and throaty. This setting is recommended for high dynamics as it uses both of the thick coated cable snare wires. Bright and delicate. This setting is suitable for soft dynamics and when you want to speak clearly in a soft voice. Like this. Nice work! You're officially certified to operate the Multisonic snare system. You'll receive your certification in the mail in about 10 to 20 weeks. Not really. Next, let's move on to some care and maintenance instructions. Here's how to replace a cable snare wire on your Multisonic snare system. To start, flip your drum upside down with the snare side facing up. We've got some springs and other pieces that we don't want to lose while doing this. Use the tension adjustment knob to remove tension from the desired cable. This will free the mounting cube from the system. Next, move to the butt side of the drum. Use a Phillips head screwdriver to remove the button head screw from the cable snare wire's mounting tab. Now you can feed the unmounted cable through the snare gate on the strainer side to fully remove it. The center guitar wire cable uses a slightly different mounting approach. A button head screw and washer hold the mounting strings on the strainer and butt side of the system. Using a Phillips head screwdriver, loosen the screw just enough to let the strings free from the washer. Easy peasy. So there you go. That's how to operate the Multisonic snare system like a pro. Still got questions? Drop a comment below and we'll get back to you. Looking for more deep dive snare drum content? Subscribe to the channel. This is the first of a series of user manual deep dives for our snare drums. Thanks for watching. Bye. Oh, it's hot in here. Do people work in here all the time? Oh, I'm like sweating.